Runes shalt you find, and fateful signs that the king of singers colored and the mighty gods have made. Fateful signs are what Freya sees when she looks across the void. Fateful signs are discovered in the deeds of the first witch who was burned and yet could not die. Fateful signs can be found in the love of gold and the greed that brings the first war. I present you with the latest Fateful Signs painting of Gullveig, Thriceborn. Gullveig is a powerful being from Norse mythology, but she is only mentioned in the Poetic Edda, specifically the Voluspa. Like many stories from our northern ancestors, we only have a few pieces of the puzzle, and it's up to us to figure out the full story. I personally find this exciting, but in the end, you must come to your own answer. Who is Gullveig, you ask? Well, let me tell you what the Voluspa says. In verse 21 and 22 from the Bellows translation. The war I remember, the first in the world, when the gods with spears had smitten Gullveig, and in the hall of Hor had burned her, 3 times burned and 3 times born, oft and again, yet ever she lives. Heath they named her, who sought their home, the wide-seeing witch in magic wise. Minds she bewitched that were moved by her magic. To evil women, a joy she was. There's a few important things we need to pick apart first. The first is Gullveig's name, which means something close to goldmite. The other is the Hall of Hor. Hor, H-O-R, refers to the High One. As we know from the Havamal, this refers to Odin. So we're talking about Odin's Hall, the Aesir. And then lastly, Heath, whose name means bright one or shining one. At first glance, this verse might seem like it's about witch burning, but on deeper inspection, it's not so, or at the very least, it means more than just that if it references witch burning at all. Gullveig's name means goldmite, so as a symbol of gold, she has been burned 3 times, refined, and emerges as Heath, the Shining One, becoming a powerful magic user and spreading joy among evil women. That last line is worth picking apart. To evil women, a joy she was. I tend to think this means strong women who think for themselves. Long have modern women taken pride in the term witch for the exact same reason, and I think that applies here. In some translations, the gender-neutral people is used instead of women, but either way, I think it's worth remembering that these verses come very late in the heathen period, and it's hard to know what was intended and by whom. In order to fully grasp Gullveig's story, we need to examine the other verses around her in the Voluspa. Up to this point, all the verses have been about the formation of the world, the first man and woman, and then finally the 3 Norns, those who watch fate. It says, on wood they scored with laws, life allotted to men and their fates. And so right before we see Gullveig, the fates come onto the scene. I think that's important. The verse after Heath is born is all about the first war, the Aesir-Vanir War. For this reason, many theorize that the burning of Gullveig is what started the war between the 2 branches of the gods, Odin and his Aesir, and the Vanir gods like Freyr and Njord. Put very simply, we can say that the Aesir mishandled gold, and their greed is what led to the first war. This makes a lot of sense. Many wars are fought over money and gold and greed. There is another goddess with a strong connection to gold, and that is Freya. She cries golden tears for her lost husband. Perhaps Freya was Gullveig in disguise. Of course, Frey would go to war over the burning of his sister. Then let's look at Heath, the Shining One, another reference to gold, but also described as a powerful magic user and seer who bewitches the minds and was a joy to women. That sounds like the perfect description of Freya, if you ask me. Perhaps what we are witnessing is the metamorphosis of Freya. At first, she is unrefined, but faces the challenges of men. Facing fire 3 times, she emerges beautiful and powerful, the Shining One. And now, with all of that understood, we get into the spark that formed the painting in my mind. I wanted to show the evolution of Golveg. I think we all can relate to this idea of facing a challenge and trying to overcome and being stronger when we're done. But also this idea of a woman being burned and destroyed, but emerging just stronger for all that she experienced. I know that's something I relate to, and having many women in my life, my mother, my daughter, my wife, friends, they express this similar feeling. So I wanted to catch that, just that little spark, and see if I could bring that through. I also wanted it to have a clear reference to gold, hence this idea of smelting, this huge urn in the center that's pouring out gold, and the poured out gold becomes Freya, or becomes Hilth, the Shining One. Fateful Signs is about creating something new out of something old, and Golvig's story embodies that perfectly. I hope that you can face whatever fires you must, and that when you do, remember Golvig and draw upon her strength. You too will emerge a Shining One. I'd like to thank all the people over at the Fateful Signs Patreon. They make videos like this possible. You all are amazing. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please head over to fatefulsigns.com and sign up for the newsletter. You'll get a free PDF copy of the first chapter from the Illustrated Havamal when you sign up. Thank you.